Welcome to Wheels, Deals, and Meals, where we talk all things good food, good business, and good cars. And now, here is your host, Arnold Garcia, founder and CEO of Petra Automotive Products. Let's roll.
Well, we're excited for this show. We have Jack Hollis with us from Accrual Equity Partners and formerly with Toyota, an incredible story, known so well through the automotive industry. And we're thankful and privileged that he decided to give us the opportunity to be on our show. Jack, thanks for being on.
So good, Arnold. Great to hang out with you.
Appreciate it. People should have heard our conversations about suits prior to this.
Exactly. That's more fun than we might talk about.
Jack gets the difference between suits and sports coats.
I like them both.
I think that's great. Jack, where were you born?
Wow, I was born Southern California in the city of Hawthorne, California. And I grew up all around the area in basically almost every single city in that area between Redondo Beach, Torrance, Gardena, Palos Verdes.
So you're a Southern California boy?
I am.
No kidding.
I am. I moved all over. We moved every year for about 11 years. And then
when you were a kid?
A kid, every year, because we were just renting different homes in different places, and then ended up in the city of Torrance and lived there. And my parents are still in the same house since I was 10 years old.
I wonder if Hawthorne is named after the old bank Hawthorne Savings. I say that because when I lived in California, our bank was Hawthorne Savings.
Well, there's a man, I'm pretty sure it was named after a man whose last name was Hawthorne.
Okay.
I don't know that.
Do you remember that bank?
Of course.
And then Washington Mutual bought it out, and Chase bought it out, and on and on and on and on. But I probably stopped at Chase. But anyway.
Yeah, no. So I grew up right here, Southern California.
All your life you've lived here?
Well, that's been my home base. I've moved multiple times.
But as an adult, what's been your home base outside of California?
We had a couple years in Denver, Colorado, and then we've had the last 8 years in Westlake, Texas. Westlake, South Lake, Texas.
Yeah, very, very nice area.
Great.
Very Southern California, Denver, South Lake.
God's been so good to us. Man. We've been all over the place, but it's been great places.
All right, so you grew up in Southern California, moving here and there. Yeah. Where'd you go to college?
I went to Stanford University.
Listen, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah. So I graduated.
I am really surprised of that answer. Great education, obviously, but I'm really surprised with the answer.
I don't know what's surprising you, but I would tell you, maybe it's because no one ever expected me to be smart enough to get in that place.
No, that's not, I just, it's not known for a conservative.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't then, it isn't now. I actually was fortunate that God blessed me with a strong body, athletic body, and I was able to gain a scholarship to play baseball. And so I played baseball, but kind of as more of a conservative. It was interesting, but it actually helped me to strengthen while I was there to know what I was going to, if I wanted to debate somebody or I had to know what I believed. So whether it's conservatism or faith or both in a situation in a school like Stanford, what happens is you have to know what you believe. And if you stand up for it, the great thing about Stanford was there was a significant respect for your either your cause or your belief system or your strength around it. They may not agree with you, but if you could stand by it and you could prove it or you could talk about it and you could back it up, respect.
They respected your knowledge and the ability to be able to defend it.
Absolutely.
Which I think that's important. I think that's kind of lost a little bit in today's world, but that's really the way it should be. I mean, I have, regardless of my beliefs, and I'm very conservative leaning as well, but I have a lot of non-conservative leaning friends.
Sure.
And we can get together and have a great debate and discussion and passionate about it, and then go out to eat dinner.
That's right.
Right? That's the way it should be. But you got to know your stuff when you get in a situation like that.
The issue tends to be more, do you have to be right? The issue is, I don't have to be right. I want to hear what you have to say. I want you to hear what I have to say. Now let's talk about where do we think there's truth in that.
Yeah.
And it's okay to just have that conversation. And that's been great. And I learned that a lot at Stanford. It really helped me.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so Stanford. Let me go back a minute. What was your first job growing up? First paying job?
Well, it was at the same time. I had two. I worked underage. I was 13. I was pulling weeds and doing janitorial work at a local McDonald's to make money off of tips, which was really helpful. When I was getting into high school. And then my first real paying job was at Rolling Hills Country Club. It was a golf course, and I was like a range ball pickup guy to start, and then I took care of all the golf carts.
You like one of those trucks picking up the balls?
No, I was out there hand picking them up at the end of the day with a little machine there. So that was what it was, and it was great.
Okay, so you go off to Stanford. What did you study?
Economics.
Okay, what was your first job out of college?
Professional baseball.
No.
So I went from Stanford. I graduated in June, and the next day I flew to Plant City, Florida. I was signed. I was drafted and then signed by the Cincinnati Reds baseball organization, and played there. And I moved around. I went to from Plant City, Florida, and Billings, Montana, and then in the off season for 2 years I worked for Security Pacific Bank. And that was in a special startup group. I call it like a middle market lending. It was like, working capital loans between 5 million and 100 million, that group. So in between baseball seasons, and then I went back to play the second season of baseball and came home and I worked for Security Pacific Bank. And then I retired from baseball, which at the same time is when I met or the same time I got married, and then we switched jobs.
So you were professionally playing baseball for how many years? 2?
Just 2.
2 years?
It was awesome.
I mean, it's got to be amazing, right?
It was amazing, and it was one of those dreams. I always wanted to play professional baseball, and I had family, and my grandfather is actually in the Hall of Fame. He played on the West Coast, the Pacific Coast League before the Dodgers came out here, and so I had this heritage, and I loved playing ball. After 2 years, though, it was really clear that, hey, listen, there's a lot of great players, and I was great but not excellent, and I was good to look in the mirror and say, you're not going to be a major leaguer. I had also gotten hurt in my second season, and it kind of diminished my throwing ability. And I had to look in the mirror and say, "It's probably not happening here." And so we decided to retire.
But still, how many people get that opportunity, though?
Yeah, I'm thankful for it.
Is that still your favorite sport?
Oh yeah, well, I love all sports. So no matter which sport you want to talk sports.
You don't have a favorite?
I love what's in season. If I have major sports, ultimately, I love the Olympics and Paralympics the most.
Okay.
I am an advocate for both.
Yeah. I like the Olympics and I like the World Championships as well. I think that, I'm not a big soccer fan guy, but I love the World Cup.
Absolutely.
It's kind of an Olympics, right?
It is.
I love the World Cups. I'm from Cuba, so obviously our tendency is volleyball, baseball, and boxing.
Exactly.
It's kind of like the Cuban line.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're Cuban, you got to like baseball, or you're just
a lot of baseball.
Cuban, right? If you see a Cuban, he goes, "I like soccer." You're like, "You're not Cuban."
Actually, a couple of my roommates in the minor leagues were.
I bet. Cuban, Dominican.
Totally Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Absolutely, the best.
It would be who it would be. All right, so you go play baseball. You do that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
What's your first job after that?
So the Security Pacific Bank was these in between, and so I was lending there. Bank of America ends up acquiring Security Pacific, and I had already built up over 2 years a book of business, and had reached a promotion. Everybody there is like an assistant vice president or something, and I'd gotten that title. But when Bank of America bought them, they wanted me to go backwards and basically start all the way over. And I was like, man. And at the same time, I was like, I don't know that banking's for me. It wasn't enough people. I want to be around a lot of people. And so that's when I started just kind of looking. I had gotten married to the greatest woman on earth, and we were just looking. And so my first real job was Toyota. And I joined Toyota. And quite honestly,
How old were you when you joined Toyota?
How old? Wow.
Can I ask that? You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
I was 25 years old.
When you were at Toyota Corporate.
Yeah. Toyota Corporate's headquarters at the time was in Torrance, California. Right down the same street that my parents live on. So it was about a 4-mile drive down. And I had known a lot of different people who worked at Toyota. And I had known a couple of their senior executives because they were members. They were country club members at Rolling Hills Country Club, where my father was the head golf professional. So I had met them through him, many cases, or I got a chance to get to know many of these members for different reasons. And anyway, they talked about Toyota. So I went there and got an interview, and which is kind of interesting. My first interview, met with 3 different people, and I was like, wow, if these are the people, I don't really want to be a part of it. So I called back one of the senior executives who had asked me to apply and to go, and he'd followed my baseball career. And he says, "Who'd you meet with?" And I said, "Such and such." And I said, "I don't think it's going to be for me." And he says, "What? Come back tomorrow. I want you to have a second interview. I got 3 new people for you." I came back the second day in a row, had 3 more interviews, 3 people, went to lunch with them.
So now you've interviewed 6 times.
Six people saying, I said, "I like these people." That day is the day I accepted. I went to work in January of '93 and loved it. Loved the people.
What was the difference between the 2 people? Was it different departments? Or?
Different departments, different mentality, different aggressiveness, different vision of going forward. Sorry to say, the first couple were more in departments that I really wasn't that interested in. One of them was from HR. They were just sort of not my cup of tea. The 3 that I got to go see were sales, marketing, and distribution. I'm like, oh, these are my peeps.
These are the fun people.
These are my peeps. Let's go to work. And that turned it around.
So you started Toyota at 25 and you stayed there all your career?
33 years to the day.
No kidding.
33 years to the day.
And your last position with Toyota was what?
I was really fortunate. The company had put a lot of faith in me. I was the chief operating officer and executive vice president.
No kidding.
It was pretty cool.
How long did you do that for?
Well, I was in the role. We changed titles a little bit. It kept kind of elevating. So I did the final role for, I don't know exactly, I guess a year was the final role. But I was in the... I was in that capacity for about 3, but we changed the name a couple times.
33 years, you said?
33 years. It's unbelievable.
That's great. What a career to be in there so long. If you were talking to somebody today that was 25, starting with Toyota or whoever,
yeah,
it could be the bank, it could be Toyota,
yeah,
it could be whatever. What are 2 or 3 things that you would advise them to do to become the next Jack?
Well, I think it probably goes hand in hand with some of the things that I feel strongly about. One is you need to really do a good job of listening. You need to be a great listener. Not to what the words people are saying, but what they're meaning. And I think that's what I think that I've done well, and that I like to do well, is I like to listen to what you are saying and needing. Number 2, as I would say, is you need to really consider all the people around you more important than you. You need to actually worry and think and strategize to help others get promoted, to help others grow, to make others really strong. I am telling you, the greatest days were when somebody that I was able to invest in, look it in the eye, help to coach or mentor, and see that person get promoted, whether it was a peer of mine, somebody quote unquote ahead of me, or somebody below me. Those are just corporate-y words, this ladder. But if everybody you're working with, you're looking at is just a great person, then you don't worry about it, and you just, how you help that person. People around you start to notice that you are literally here for the betterment of people. And leaders want that. Like, as a leader, I want those people who are literally more concerned about other people in the organization than themselves. And that's probably, I don't know if I give you the third one, other than I guess if the third one, but is, if possible, is learn to be able to, back to Stanford, speak your mind with conviction. Speak what you believe in with conviction, but don't start speaking until you know it. Don't make it up.
Yeah.
Know it.
Know what you believe.
Know it.
Know what you believe before you
And
speak
get behind
what
it.
you believe.
And do it with energy. Do it with enthusiasm.
Your 3 pieces of advice, make sure I got this down as a summary. Your 3 pieces of advice is work hard. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to summarize it. Work hard for the better good.
Mm-hmm.
Work to help each other grow, promote, be better. Mm-hmm. And know what you believe.
Yeah, where I would correct you is the first most important to do that, though, you have to listen well. You have to truly, because a person can have a conversation. And if we're talking and I'm sitting here literally thinking about what I want to say in response versus listening, you're going to miss what the person's saying.
Sure.
Listen.
100%. You're thinking about dinner.
Whatever it might be.
You're having a conversation and you're going to just come in and say whatever you want.
And I still have a lot of ways to grow in that. To this point, to this day, but it's something that I desire, and it's something that I think I've done. That's why I still am an old school pen and paper guy, because there would be times when someone's speaking, I'm like, okay, I need to write that down because I think that's really critical to come back. And so it's listening.
So here's my 3. Listen, invest in people and know your beliefs.
Yeah.
Stand up
And
for
be
what you-
willing to speak them with energy,
Yeah,
with conviction.
I like that. That's really good. What are 3 things that you think that people should not do?
Nah. Okay, I hate the word network. If people say, I got to go networking. What does that mean? I'll tell you what that means. Is you're trying to,
Which is so often used.
it's always used of, my network, I need to network. No, that means you're not actually you're not enough substance. The network is when you do a good job on loving people and caring for people and helping them. There's your network because they'll love you.
Yeah.
You don't need to network. So 1, stay away from networking. 2, is while I can talk a lot, I still listen more. So make sure that you stay away from talking more than you listen. And I love to talk,
Yeah, but listen more than you talk.
but listen and then listen
There's an
first.
Old pastor would say, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yeah, it is, and that's really what it is. And there's been times I'm sure that people say, yeah, well, Jack, you got 2 mouths and 1 ear. Well, those are the times I've screwed up,
Yeah.
and I have had to own that. And I'm not really proud of those times. So I would say stay away from that. 3rd one, if I had one, probably is to say is, can you really get away from worrying about your next job? In most companies, in most organizations of any sort, I don't care if it's a corporate or even a mom and pop shop, you're kind of looking at what can I do to get up here? But you want to know, if you want to elevate, is to do what you're doing today
And do it the best.
to the best you can.
That's right.
Because you rarely are in charge of getting yourself your own promotion. Somebody else, the boss, is looking at you and going to make a decision of what you're doing. And that boss always can read that person going, that person's just trying to move up. He's just trying to put himself in the right position. Right. No, just do your job.
Yeah.
And that's probably where I'd
go to do it the best ability. When I first started in this business, or not first, but when I got my big promotion, corner office,
nice,
California, my boss came to me and sits down and says, don't do anything. You're talking about listening more than talking.
Yeah.
He says, don't do anything. It's just been the next year listening, going out, traveling, hearing the good, the bad, talking to people, then make a decision. So here I am, young, with power, right?
Yeah.
You know, corner office.
Yeah.
And my boss is saying, don't do anything. Go listen, get to know people. Before you make a move, know what's going on.
Okay, so this is important because not only is that, so I have a rule, and it was kind of Jack's facts, and I used to count as, and the number 1 is, when you get a new role for 90 days, do not make any decisions.
I love it.
For those first 90 days, listen, keep listening. I'm doing it right now with what I'm doing today. Keep listening, write it down, find out. Because here's what I learned by messing up over my career, by making mistakes, was this. I get into a new job, I'm like, I'm taking this on. That's a problem. I will fix it. And you fix it. And you do something. You make a decision. And about 50 to 60%, I've learned, of those things that I changed back to the original way because it actually made a lot of sense after I was in the job long enough.
That's right. It's right. It's great advice. Because
I love what your boss said.
I think there are things, another thing that my old boss told me was, you cannot hurry experience.
That's right.
Right? You got to live it. You got to let time teach you things.
Exactly.
You cannot hurry it. And I think today we live in this hurry state, now state, give it to me today.
For sure.
I want to do it today. And you miss all this information that is extremely relevant to make the decision today for you to be there tomorrow.
I am in so agreement, and I think a little bit, like I said a little bit earlier, most people being younger, not everyone, is worried about their promotion or the next thing. And I get it. Life is expensive. Living expenses are high. I get it. But when you start thinking about all this, you miss the enjoyment of all the things that you're doing right now. And if you take your time to do this job really well, it's going to put you in a much better place to do the next one. Don't try to jump to the next one, because if you're not prepared and you crash, you may go back to where you started, or you're gone without your choice.
And damage people along the way.
And it's dangerous. It's not healthy.
Speaking about people, do you think, I mean, I kind of know the answer, but people changed 33 years in this business. So let's say 30 years ago to now.
Yeah.
Have people changed? Or you think it's still the same set of people?
I probably will surprise you and answer it. I don't think people have changed all that much. I do think the speed of reward and the expectations from a younger person has changed. There's a higher expectation, a higher entitlement, a higher belief that they deserve something they haven't earned yet. That I do believe. I think the people themselves still have the same kind of motivations, which is to do the best they can and move along. But I think there just seems to feel like, to me, a little bit more about how do I get to the next job versus how do I really work hard at doing the best I can at this job. That's where I think it's changed.
That's a good point. I mean, I bet that's one of the changes that I see as well. I think people today sometimes don't want to pay the price. You became your last position at Toyota COO is 30 years in the making.
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes people don't want to pay
That's right.
the 33 years in the making,
That's
right?
Yeah.
You're going to learn, you're going to make mistakes, there's good days, there's bad days, but you're getting to this position. I think today, like you said, it's a lot of microwave careers of now, but you can't because you need 33 years in the making.
Let me give you a quick story. I'm 25 years old, and when I came in as the title was called management trainee. There was no lower role. And then we had a class of, I don't know, let's say 25 people. We all came at the same time, and I was the only one that was married. Then a little different place. Everyone's kind of, as you go through this training program, you get sent out to one of our regional offices, and I go to the San Francisco region, and I get there. A management trainee at that time took about a year and a half, about 18 months to 2 years to go out to become a field traveler, going out with the dealerships. I didn't go out for almost 3 years. And it was like, what's wrong with me? People I was peers with, all gone before, had gone speeding by me. And I'm like, but during that time, I was going to every department. They kept moving me, this department and this department. I get to learn it here, 3 months here, 6 months here, 4 months here, and I kept going. Now, I did every department over that 3 years. Today, if a management trainee is in as a trainee for more than about 6 months, they just quit. They just leave. I was there for 3 years. I was one of the longest. But what happened is I learned all of the basis of all the base level, concrete level of every department, so that as I moved forward, I knew every person to go talk to. Here's a problem, here's how to fix it. And I don't think there's a lot of people today, I don't care again if it's corporations or entrepreneurial, most people seem to be moving quickly, because if it doesn't have a quick hit microwave, to use your word, then they're like, oh, it must not be for me. How do you know? You haven't been there long enough to even go through one whole year of a cycle.
But you got to pay a price.
You have to. Well, I think you have to. There's probably some people who haven't, and they've been able to find some.
But I think for the most part, those that are really, truly successful have paid a price.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed.
You can short circuit anything for many reasons. But those that really have made an impact on companies and people
That's right.
typically have gone through
That's right.
learning.
That's right. Those who have made the impact have usually gone through that kind of spread out.
Because you don't know either way. If you don't do that, then you don't know what you're impacting. You don't know what you're doing. You don't. And how can you mentor someone and help somebody if you don't?
That's good. And I will say what's helped me throughout the career in this to think is I've had great mentors.
Me too.
People who were willing to, like the definition is to see more in me than I was seeing in myself, and said, hey, what do you think about this? Or how about that? And why this? And that is something that I think us two gentlemen and leaders, we can help those who work in and around us, for us. We need to make sure they understand the value of them mentoring the next generation, multiple people,
100%.
and paying it backwards to those folks and helping them to come through. I think that's a key piece.
Yeah, 100%. Because we got to. There's so many ways to give back, right? People can donate money, people can do this or whatever. But mentoring and feeding into the lives of people.
Yeah, it's the best though.
There's no money you can put on that.
That's right.
Because if we do it right and they accept it right, they will do it, and the next generation will do it.
That's right.
And that legacy will go on for a very long time when you feed into people and spend time with people. And sometimes it's frustrating, right? But you got to remember, we were all there.
Totally.
I remember my frustrating years and my boss being patient with me.
Yeah.
And we have to recognize that so that we're also patient as we mentor the next generation, because we have to mentor the next generation.
And this goes back to what I said earlier, is if you think of other people more important than yourself, if you truly care about them, Their goal is to set them up because eventually you're going to move on. I'm going to move on. When I retired, to look back, I have some amazing friends and mentees who are in these leadership positions throughout Toyota and Lexus, who I still stay in contact with, who I'm so joyful for them to see their success. The question is, can you find as much joy in their success as your own, or their paycheck as your own, or whatever it is? And when that answer is yes, the fulfillment and the joy and the peace that you get from working is magnified, and it's maximized, and I love it.
And I know this example is a unique and elite maybe example, but I loved it when I saw it. I had the privilege to go into this big dealer group meeting with the owner and partners of the dealerships, about, 45 dealers or so.
Wow.
And within there were partners that wrote checks out to the main partner because they were buying more stock in the
I got it.
The company had made X amount, so they were writing a check. And they go, check, The celebratory of that owner, he got up, told everybody what this guy did, just gave him the check. He now owns more. People applauded. I thought, wow, they're all extremely enthused and happy for this guy.
That's awesome.
Through his hard work,
That's so good.
Was able to buy a little piece more. And the guy selling it wasn't like, I lost a percentage. It was like joyful
cheering
and party that you were able to do it.
It's the best. And
that's the best.
I love that story. And the more that's the ultimate.
Yeah, I think, and I think as I get older too, those stories mean a lot more now.
Absolutely. It does. And that's true. Like you said, the whole thing about experience. Right. When you've experienced it, you're like, you can actually experience the joy for someone else.
That's right. 100%. You think the car industry has changed?
Yeah.
Throughout the years? To good, to better, same, worse?
Here's my conservative approach. The more the government stays out of the industry, the better the industry is. We've had this movement of trying to push electric vehicles and regulation. See, if the customer is demanding it, then the automakers will give it, because the automakers...
That's how they make money.
That's how they make money. And if you allow that to happen, the outcomes will really be pure, and you won't have to spend as much money. The expenses are lower, incentives are lower. There definitely should be electric vehicles in the industry.
For those that want it.
And there's people who want them.
Yeah.
So give it to them.
100%.
There should be hybrids, and there should
be not just cars, but in every industry.
It is.
If politicians and governments stay out of it and allow the consumer to dictate, every company that sells products will make the products that the consumer want.
Yeah.
And if the consumer, I go to the store and I have organic bananas and I have regular bananas, right? The organic bananas are more expensive, right? Yeah. And there are some that buy these and those. The store is not dictating.
It's their choice.
The consumer dictates it. So you can have a hybrid, you can have an electric, you can have an ICE engine. It doesn't matter, right? Give the customer what they want without the government forcing something down that everybody's sitting here going, I don't want that. And how could we do it? And then the electricity company's going, well, we can't have everybody on electric.
And I guess that's when you ask me, when you think about it, when you ask me the question regarding, do I think it's changed? It's changed because societal and the different amount of models and things have changed. What hasn't changed is, and what has actually gotten better, is the quality of the product themselves. There used to be big gaps between the different brands. Today, the gaps in quality are almost negligible. Now, there's tastes and there's different, and there's still some that are quality that's well behind. I don't need to go name by name. But there are some that are still way behind. But for the most part, the best brands are all really close. So they've been the positive. But
I think that's true. I think as time has gone by, product quality has gotten better.
Oh, no doubt. But I guess I would say this, where I do see is, I think where it is changing, and we'll see what happens in the end, is what is the role of the dealer? Because you have a lot of these brands who are taking power away from the dealer or going around the dealer. I happen to be a dealer guy. I believe in the community aspect of the local car dealer. I believe in that value. I believe in what they do for those communities. And those companies that are going direct to consumer, I understand cutting out the middleman, but they are also denying the local touch and feel of that vehicle, the local touch of the community, the Little League support, all that. And there's something to that concerns me long term. And so I don't know where that will go ultimately, and I have my own beliefs of what should happen, but I would say that is a change that I'm not so sure is for the better.
I think you're right, and it's so true, because mathematically, maybe to the manufacturers, it makes sense to go to consumer directly.
Yeah.
And that some consumer may think it's, oh, great, I get to buy direct, right? But the community, without a doubt, from employees to are going to be affected.
Local taxes.
Tremendously. And most of these, in Houston, I can show you every little high school stadium that most are sponsored by a dealer.
Totally. Absolutely. And I would like to see that continue. And I will also challenge everybody who says the direct to consumer, because there's, you cut out that middleman, and there's some numbers that would work for that. But you know what? The local service ability, the ability to go.
It's a bigger impact.
Yeah. And
it's a bigger impact.
There's a lot of other uncalculable.
Sure. Because the dealer is supporting the community, right? Like we talked Little League, Girl Scouts, whatever. But then all those employees are also supporting their organizations.
That's right.
And that feeds out quite a bit. That times every dealership in your city makes a dramatic impact. So that's a very.
And I believe in the dealer. If it is your dealership, that man or woman who's owning and running that dealership, I still love even the mod paw shop. It's a part of their own legacy and personal legacy, and I think there's some pieces that are important. Now there's some great public entity ownership and private group ownership. I'm not saying they're not, but I still like to see the local dealer in the dealership making things happen. And there's something that I think there's a value there that we shouldn't overlook as a society.
Yeah. I agree. I was in a dealership the other day where the owner was there. We were doing a little tour. He walks out. There's a couple buying a car.
Yeah.
And, he goes, "Are you getting a good deal?" He goes, "Oh, no, we'll let you know in a few hours."
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just playing around. But the owner was involved with the customer. We walk out. The owner says, "That's our local judge."
It's the best. It's the best.
Right. You miss that if you do it any other way.
You shouldn't miss it. It's one of the greatest experiences to be able to go buy a new vehicle.
Right.
And enjoy it. I mean, what a joy to be able to get a new vehicle. I mean, that's an honor and a privilege. Well, let's make it a big deal.
Make it a big deal. Make it a big deal for sure. What was your first car?
Wow, my first car that I owned was a 1979 Datsun 280ZX. Blue and silver. We called it the silver bullet right over the top. I drove that thing into the ground. I bought it used, and I drove
Aren't you too tall for that car?
No, it was the absolute perfect 5-speed, and I'm telling you, it was the absolute perfect. I ran it to about 250,000 miles, took care of that thing, and it was breaking. I mean, the seats were breaking. I had to box in the seat. Today when it worked, I actually had to literally put a piece of wood behind it. I put a baseball bat in to hold the seat properly. It was perfect. It was in the exact right spot. I was the only person who could drive the vehicle, and it was the best. It was great.
All right, Jack Hollis Museum. What's the car that needs to go in the Jack Hollis Museum? You may have it or you may not have it. You want it. What is the car that needs to go in the Jack Hollis Museum?
Gosh, that's a large museum. Pretty biased because I've been driving it for about the last 10 years. It's a TRD Pro Tundra, white exterior, red interior with everything maximized. It was the coolest driving car, truck, it could go anywhere.
So Tundra on
TRD Pro. It was, and I had everything. And I got a lift kit and bigger wheels, tires, the whole deal. It was fun. That was probably the one because it's the one that people identified with me.
Yeah. Right.
And that I have enjoyed the most.
That's good. Yeah. Of all the places you've traveled, what's your favorite?
Holy smokes. Well, man, God has blessed me with a chance to go everywhere. It's probably got to be South Africa. I've gotten to go there 3 times, a couple times into the safaris, and to see God's creation in reality, and to watch what's going on, to see people protecting animals in a sense of keeping them. It's been great. The people of South Africa going to Cape Town and to Joburg and Johannesburg, and to visit the people and the kindness. That's probably it sticks out a bunch. But I mean, we've lots of great places.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going there next year.
You are too.
I'm not planning the trip. I'm going with actually some dealers.
Oh, it's great.
And so they're planning it all. And
Shoot.
all I know is that I'm going.
After all this, let's talk. I'll set you up exactly where to go because there's some great places.
Sounds good. But it has the whole safari, the whole bit, everything you just mentioned,
It's really,
in there.
it's really enjoyable.
Of all the places you have not gone to, what's on your bucket list to go?
That's a great question. Probably where I haven't been that I've wanted to go to is Sweden and Norway. I want to go to Scandinavian countries and.
I'm surprised you haven't been to Norway.
I know, but it's just interesting. It's just I haven't been. I just haven't.
You
got a chance.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, Sweden, Norway would probably be the area that I haven't gone to because, quite honestly, all the other places we've gone, we pretty much have gone to them.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think.
Yeah. You probably haven't gone there, and you probably haven't gone to Cuba.
I've been to Cuba.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. I'm telling you, I've been to just about every, Australia and Fiji.
I've had all these opportunities to Cuba, but I've never taken it.
Oh, you got to go. Yeah. It's actually sad.
Right.
Super sad, but it was really good to go.
That's good. That's good. All right. Before we leave, talk to me about your new venture. What is it all about?
It's about people. Accrual Equity Partners, after a great time, 3+ decades at Toyota and Lexus, I wanted to be able to do something entrepreneurial. It's been a little itch that needs to be scratched, and I got to meet a couple of great gentlemen, and both Brady Schmidt and Jacob Tilzer, two guys who wanted to talk about being a private equity firm that acted more like a personal ownership model or a family kind of ownership model, and putting people first. I've had a personal philosophy that I've shared and talked about people before performance, people before profits. When I met them, and they had the exact same philosophy. Do we want to make money? Yes, but we want to put people first. We want to help jobs first. We want to actually give back to communities first. This is what people first. And if you can not just say it, but do it, it matters. And so that's what drew me to these guys, but it also drew me to the fact that they're a private equity firm in the automotive space. And I thought, oh man, entrepreneurialism in the space that I love. And they were most of them were being pro-dealer. Most of our companies were being pro-dealer, partner with dealerships. I'm like, count me in. And that's what led me to here. And now I'm partnering with these two folks and really getting to work with some great people to try, like I said before, is make other people's lives better. And we're seeing that happen very quickly.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. Both of those guys I know, and obviously Brady probably longer than Jacob, but both great guys.
Yeah, they are.
And you fit that mold. I know their hearts, and I'm excited for you guys. I'm just excited of what's going to happen with what you guys are doing and planning. I think everybody is kind of excited. Before we leave too, I know you talk about PetroCares. What do you like about PetroCares? Why does that touch you so much?
Yeah. PetroCares matters because it's taking a societal need and answering it, but answering it in a very, not charitable way, but in a very professional and life-giving way. Because charity can oftentimes look at it as I'm better than, or handing down, and I don't like that. People are equal. People all have the same value. God created every one of them for specific purposes. So let's treat people that way. PetroCares to me is treating people with dignity and respect. And while we can, by definition, as a charity gets a 501c3, that okay. But what I like about it is it's taking the need of the foster care and people coming out of foster care and providing a bridge to life. And I want to be a part of bridging people into their next better or their next level or their next best. I don't care what that is, but I want to be a part of things that are looking out at problems and helping to solve them with major respect and honor. And I think that's what PetroCares is doing. And I don't care what size it is. It can always still be more impactful.
That's right.
And that's what interests me.
You hit it on the nail. And in our motto, we talk about helping these kids find their purpose.
That's right.
Because they were all created with a purpose.
That's right.
And so hopefully with God's help and your help and all of our donors, we continue to impact those lives.
It's important because if you can touch someone's heart in both passion and purpose, it actually accelerates life for that person. It actually is breathing life into someone who can then give it to others. Where that person is not being pumped into, it's tough for that person to pump out to someone else.
That's right.
And I think what I see you guys doing and Petrocare is doing is actually providing that, like I said, a bridge, but you're providing life. And that is, that's critical. And it's something that I wanted to see, whether it's Petrocares or anything I want to be involved in, is to be able to really impact and influence others' lives for the better.
100%. We said it, you said it perfectly.
Thanks.
We're changing lives in generations to come.
Good
Truly changing lives in generations to come.
Well, you're doing that. You started it well.
We're doing it.
Yeah, I know we
Jack,
are.
thank
You got
you.
it.
Appreciate it.
Nice to be with you, Arnold.
You too.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for listening to Wheels, Deals, and Meals, your main source for all things good and fun, business, food, and cars. If you like this episode, make sure to rate us and subscribe. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please leave a message at the link below. Till next time, happy eating.